Yo, yo, yo.
You're
You guys caught me in the middle of pouring up that good agua. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you need some good agua
damn
after a long day. Um, Karen, Felipe, how you guys doing?
good, excellent.
We're good.
Let's go. How's the new system been? The new CRM?
Yeah, as mentioned, there are like growing pains, but I think I'm getting the hang of it.
Okay, you starting to see your day be a little bit easier and it's a little bit easier to flow.
Yeah, I'm now more like I know what's next and all that. Unlike
Got it.
before, better now.
Okay. I love to hear that. Felipe, how about you?
Yeah, I'm pretty much on the same page. First day I was pretty confused. Today I'm pretty much got the flow already.
Love it. Do you see like in the future it's gonna be so much better?
I can definitely see it. I was talking to Andrew today, and he's kind of just giving me the overview of how the KPIs work now, and
Mm,
it's so intricate and so like it's perfect. So it tells me like how many leads I talk to turn into an offer, and that how many offers turn into a deal, and like it gives you everything,
hmm
and I can track that and make sure that my numbers stay the same or they should go down and not
Love it.
up.
Yeah. So good. It's gonna be so good. I love it. Okay. Um, so want to go over one property that we have under contract right now, which was one of Felipe's contracts. What happened? The seller reached back out to me today. So I just want to go over this story just for learning purposes, right? And how we can fix it going forward. Seller reaches back out to me today and says, "Hey, Mike, I'm not able to find another place to go." Okay. And is essentially trying to say she wants to back out. So I'm asking her a little bit more questions and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Funny, come to find out, she tells me another buyer goes there yesterday and offered her more money. So, what do you think is the real problem? She can't find a place to go, or she got a better offer from another buyer?
I mean, it's pretty obvious. She's
Right,
trying to get that money, trying to get that guap.
right. So, at the end of the day, like for us, right, like we already have an agreement in place.
Exactly.
So, reason why I'm saying we can learn from this is because this could have been prevented. How could this, in the Sandler submarine, Felipe, where could this have been prevented?
In the post close bucket,
Mm-hmm.
right? So what that is when you do close somebody, you make sure that they are confident and comfortable with what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And ways to do that, go about that is you talk to them. If someone else contacts you about your property, what do you say? And you say nothing because it's sold. You say
Right.
Super Homes bought my house. Um, because at the end of the day, they are illegal. It's a legally binding contract, and I mean, like it is what it is. There's always going to be people offering you more money, but like at the end of the day, are they willing to pay that amount of money? That's what happened to her the first time. Some guy offered her a 250, couldn't do it, couldn't perform, and backed out.
Mm-hmm.
So probably the same thing's happening right now.
Exactly. Now, at the end of the day, there's one thing that I have done on all my appointments now is I make sure that the seller isn't in agreement with another buyer because we've ran into a situation in the past where we were buying a fix and flip and we got all the way to the close, found out that there was a memorandum after the title was ran from another buyer that essentially went in before us and we were unaware, right? So for now on, I always make it be known like, hey, we don't want to take anybody else's deal. Like, are you under contract with anybody else? I just want to make sure because that happened to us before, right? So these are just a couple of things that we can learn from. But I'll let you know, Felipe, what goes on with it. We're working with it. We got our attorneys working on it, so we're gonna see exactly what we got to do. So, what do you got, Karen? Felipe, if you got to bounce, bro, it's cool.
I actually found out something I need to talk to you about, so we can talk about it later.
All right, no, let's go now.
All right. I'm actually just gonna task it to you in Podio to make it simpler. It's some guy that was in a fire damage property.
Where is it?
Let me pop it up here. It's in Pembroke. Yeah, if you just go on Podio, it should be there on your task today.
Yes, sir. I remember the lead. What about
him? Yeah, I got in contact with him. Let me read my notes here because it's a while back. He has an offer at 210, and then I told him kind of that spiel of if it's a valid buyer, yada yada yada. We can do 5K more. What else? He said that the insurance company says it costs $275,000 to fix up, but the thing is, how the insurance works, I feel like they obviously give an inflated price because I feel like as a fix and flipper, that's not the actual rehab cost. So I want to get your opinion on everything.
This is why the freaking new CRM is way better, because I'll be able to just pop up on my phone after the appointment and type in the notes, and you'll get an update of what happened. I went on an appointment with this guy.
Oh, you did?
And I already submitted an offer and everything, but because freaking Podio stinks, I just forgot to go back to the office after and fill in all the notes. But who cares? Like, you're now in talks with this guy, whatever. I talked to this guy over the weekend, and yeah, his price is just too much. Like, I offered an option contract. Essentially, here's what I told him. I said, "Hey, why don't I shoot this out to the group and see where it would be?" We've been doing a lot of option contracts for anybody that's listening. It's such a powerful thing to use right now because the nature of the market, right? Like, we're having a tough time actually selling some of our deals. So what we've been doing is we've just been telling the seller, like, hey, we're not a good fit here. Like, we need to be at X, right? Like, for this guy, I think our offer was, let me think. It was 190. Actually, no, 180. And essentially what I told him, I'm like, hey, we're not a good fit for every house. We need a deep discount. We're fixing and flipping, right? Like, we typically need the biggest discount. However, we hang out with all these buyers around the area. So maybe I can find you a buyer who might have a different reason for buying, or maybe a different crew, different contractors than we do. But I told him I do not want to shoot it out to the group anywhere over 200. And what I just told him, I was like, essentially, it's like, I don't feel comfortable doing that because it's our reputation that's on the line. We don't want to put out deals that don't work for other investors. The other investors look at us like, hey, why are you putting out these deals that don't really work? I don't really want to do business with you in the future, right? So it would be irresponsible for us as a company to bring it out to the marketplace at a number that just doesn't make sense for people. So that's where we're at. So if you want to keep him in your follow-up, essentially what you can do on the next call tomorrow is just say, hey, I didn't even know that you were working with Mike in the office. Sorry, we just did a poor job of passing notes back and forth. But after you guys' conversation this weekend, what were your thoughts? Did you want us to help you find a buyer?
Okay.
And just remember, we're not going over 200.
Okay.
Cool?
Yep. I'm just writing this down so I don't forget. Alrighty.
Because what and then another thing I wanted to mention, it's essentially not an option contract. We're not like doing an option and then have to go under a purchase and sale agreement. So to give people an understanding what an option contract is, an option contract essentially states, like, let's just say I was trying to buy Felipe's house. Mike has the option to buy Felipe's house at X price, right? And then what I would do is I would go try to find a buyer, and I would find a buyer for maybe $10,000 more than my option contract. Then me and Felipe would have to go into a purchase and sale agreement, and I would have to assign that purchase and sale agreement to my buyer that said he'd pay $10,000 more than my option. So sometimes it's just a pain going back to the seller saying, "Hey, yeah, we have a buyer for you. Um, we got to get under a purchase and sale agreement," and it just kind of gets you can get caught up in it, right? Rather than if you just went right to a purchase and sale agreement with some verbiage in your purchase and sale agreement that allows you to back out and allows us and gives the seller some what's the word I'm looking for? It gives the seller peace of mind as well. And if you write this in the contract, I've been writing, if this contract is not assigned within the inspection period, which is typically about 14 days, within the inspection period, this contract is null and void. Neither buyer nor seller in this event will be obligated to close escrow. Meaning, if we don't assign this contract, then we can back out and we get our earnest money and everything. And in our inspection period, it states that if we want to back out before the inspection period is up, we get our earnest money back. So that's what we've been doing. We've been putting that in our purchase and sale agreement for our option contracts. But it's a very, very, very powerful thing, especially in this market when the sellers want too much money. Because then that gives us the option to go shop it out. We'll see exactly what we get for offers, and then if it's not a deal, then we let the seller know. Like, yeah, we didn't get a buyer for it.
Yep.
And then they know. Because at that point, every investor and their mother saw it. But yeah, dude, I would go back to the seller and say that. I would just say, hey, I know I was talking to Mike in our office the other day or yesterday, and I didn't realize that we were all talking to the same person. We just failed to write the notes correctly. But anyways, Mike was telling me that we were thinking about finding a buyer, would feel comfortable going to find a buyer for you at 200. Is that something that you want to move forward with?
Yep. Okay. Perfect.
Cool, bro.
All right, bro. Yeah, I appreciate you. See you guys tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Good job, bro.
All right. Peace.
Peace. Karen, what do you got?
Yeah. I have here a lead that I found it difficult to um get into more of her situation because she just wants me to like. She was always just saying that um uh, we need to go to the appointment with her and just um make a solid offer.
Where is this one?
I think this is someone Fall River, and I told her that we can do that since we're just um right next to street, but I wanted to get into more of like her process of selling. Um,
Let's call her.
yeah,
Can you
that
send
would,
me the lead's information in the private chat?
yeah, I do that.
You send me the phone number and the address and the name. So she just wants us to go check the property out, and you don't really know why she wants to sell or anything like that?
Um, there was a previous conversation with me and this lady about a couple months, like I mean, last month, and then I pushed him to Felipe, and then I think you guys went over this lead on the live, but the the seller didn't answer after that. So Felipe pushed it back to me to get in touch with her, and I talked to her yesterday. And I was able to ask a little question, which is if she was able to like if she's thinking about having it listed with a realtor, but she says that she once went that route, but it didn't turned out well. So she just wanted to sell it on her own ways, and she wants 550 for it. And that's the only thing I got. I was like getting into her situation and kind of like wanted to ask her how would she how is what's her plan on getting that price, but she had an objection, which is she wants us to just go over first and on that house.
Cool. Let's call this lady.
Hello, you reached. Hello.
Okay, what I would do, Karen, is I would get in touch with her and I would set up a phone call appointment for me for the next live.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, I'll do that.
Like any of these leads that you have that you want me to call, I would say definitely set up a phone call appointment. And if I don't have a specific time yet, like today, we didn't have a specific time for the live until about a couple of hours ago. If you don't have a specific time yet, just say sometime between 3 and 5.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And you could just say it's going to come from a 774 number.
All right. I'll note. I'll take note of that.
But what do you think you need help with that lead?
Um, I was like, I think I've been having this kind of objection, like even from previous leads that I went over with you. Like most of them were like wanting us to like go to that appointment first because or the reason must be they have been called so many times about it, and they want to know how serious we are by going over the appointment first before even talking about the house and all that. These were
Okay.
the type of sellers that I'm having conversation with lately, and I've been having a difficult time overcoming that.
So what do you think we can say when somebody's like, just come over and check out my house and give me an offer?
Yeah, I would just, the way I would say it is, um I would say that we could do that, but the way we go about it is we need to at least see if we are a fit first. And so just so if we go over that appointment, we know that we don't waste each other's time. That's what say in that, on those leads.
Mm-hmm.
And still they're like still having that kind of objection still, that they wouldn't want to talk to me.
So I'm
And
gonna teach you
yeah.
a super ninja trick.
Mhm.
Some of these things you don't even have to answer.
Mhm.
You can just ignore it and go on to the next thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like when she's saying, "Hey, come by the house and check it out, check it out, check it out." Literally, I would say something like, "Oh yeah, okay, we can do that," and then just go into the next thing to
Mhm.
try to figure out more information. Because think about it, that's what you want to do. You want to figure out what the situation is with the lead,
Yeah.
right? So just ignore it and go into what you need to talk about. But you need to do it with confidence, right? But it
Mhm.
sounds like if a seller keeps saying these types of things and they're questioning credibility,
Yeah.
and it sounds like maybe we could do a better job of building credibility throughout the call, right? And you just do that by little ninja stuff. You just say little third party stories. You just say little things on purpose so that the seller will never think that you're not credible.
Yeah. Okay.
That makes sense?
That's a good one. Yeah.
Like when I'm saying all these little third party stories in my conversations, I'm doing it on purpose and like they're not lies. Like I'm actually doing this business. We buy houses, we do all the things, right? So when I'm
Mhm.
saying little third party stories, I'm not lying, but I'm saying them on purpose because I want the seller to just have no questions that I'm doing this business. Because in their mind, they're like, why the heck would he even talk about that? Like why would he lie about that or do that on purpose or whatever the case is? That they're not thinking like that. They're not a salesperson like we are.
Yeah.
But we're doing it on purpose so that they don't say these things, right? You want you want all the leverage. Like you want them to feel like they need to qualify to sell to us. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Rather than having them be in the driver's seat the whole time. Like, hey, no, just come and give me an offer, give me an offer, give me an offer. Yeah, we could do that at some point, but could you just give me an idea of what's going on with the house?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Would love to do that. Could you just give me an idea of what's going on with the house? Rather than even saying, oh, but before we do that, we don't want to waste our time and all this stuff, right? Now the seller in their mind could be thinking like, well, wait, what do you mean not waste your time?
Yeah.
Like, are you even serious? Are you gonna buy my house? Just disregard it and go on to the next thing and plant little seeds while you're doing that to make sure the seller knows that you're credible.
Mhm.
Think about it. She said that because she doesn't want to waste her time. Well, if you're serious, come check out the house. Okay, yeah, we can for sure do that. And then you ask her about the house, right? And then in that at that same time, while you're having a conversation with her, you're just planting seeds with little third party stories that show that we're credible, that we're doing the business. And then she just forgot about saying, well, come check out the house.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
I posted something today on my Instagram, and it was a seller call that I had where I was just dead silent for like 5 seconds. It was an awkward 5 seconds. Like you're gonna have a lot of awkward times in these sales calls. You just have to be the one to stomach it. It doesn't phase me at all anymore. I'll sit there and I'll be silent for 3 minutes if I have to. Literally, I was on a call last week where the seller was signing off on something. And most people would be like, oh my God, are they going to sign? Are they going to sign? But I'm literally just sitting there like, yeah, it's cool. Like I literally let it be silent for like 3 minutes. But you have to be comfortable with being in those awkward conversations. Like that's awkward, right? When they're telling you, hey, why don't you come check out my house?
Yeah.
And you disregard what they just said. That feels awkward to you because you're Karen, you're a sweetheart. You want to attend to what people are saying.
Yeah.
But is it responsible to attend to that? No, because if you attend to it, then what happens? You don't get anywhere. So disregard it and then just go through the conversation because you are in charge. You are the salesperson. It is your responsibility to steer the conversation in the direction that you know is best. The seller doesn't know what's best. Karen knows what's best.
Yeah.
Do you have any more?
I have another one that I also found difficult to overcome. Okay. He was asking for retail. I'll just He was asking for retail. A few days ago, I spoke with him. He was asking for retail. The house is already vacant, and he did repairs on it, so it's pretty much like brand new, something like that. And he gave his price, but on that call, there were things that I wanted to talk to him about. He was asking for an offer, so I told him that the last phrase that I had on that call was, um, "I'll run this over with my partner and see um, where we would be at and all that." And but my initial plan was to call him back and tell him that his best bet is to list it with a realtor. That's what
Mhm.
my plan was. But when I get into the call, I told him that, hey, we actually ran this over with my partners, and I honestly think that your best bet is to list it with a realtor because
Mhm.
haven't, because I missed that question on the last call. That's why I wanted to get in
That's
that.
good. That's not bad. That's not a bad thing. Like sometimes you don't get all the information on the first call or the second call or third call, and then you think about it. You're like, oh, let me go in with that question, right? So I love that. That's
Yeah.
good. You know what that
So,
means you're doing? Sorry to cut you
uh,
off, but that means that you're analyzing your own calls, which is super, super good. I was telling Felipe that. I was like, you gotta realize that every single time a call happens or an appointment happens or something happens in the business, right? You gotta realize that after it, you should analyze yourself and how you did. And
yeah.
if it was a success, what made it successful? If it was, if nothing happened, right, and you
Mm-hmm.
weren't able to accomplish what you wanted to accomplish, think about it. Why and what could I have done different? So that's really good. You're doing that naturally. So good job.
Yeah. So that's what I did. But when I got into that um, opening on my call, it just said, okay. Then I wanted to go over some information about his situation and where he is at in the process of selling it, and
Hmm.
what would be his plan in getting to that number or having that number. And since the house is already vacant, so you know, he's paying some money for it while it's staying vacant. So I wanted to get into those questions, but he did hang up on me. So that's why I wasn't able to um ask those questions to him.
Okay, so this guy, I've talked to him before. Actually, Daryl's team has talked to him before, right?
Oh,
This
okay.
guy doesn't want to do terms. He just wants retail for his house, but claims he doesn't want to list it with a realtor. Like you said, his best bet probably is with a realtor. The properties aren't in bad condition. So there's just not enough motivation for him to sell right now.
Okay.
It's just somebody that you should keep in your follow-up for sure, because at some point he's going to need to.
Mm.
And maybe it is just going with a realtor, which probably is his best bet because he wants to take the money and go buy another business in another city.
Yeah.
That's what his plans were.
Okay.
But yeah, this is somebody that you just keep following up with, and realize that time is the best negotiator.
For sure.
But think about it, like think about think about that type of lead. Think about the advice I just gave you. Hey, just time, just time, just time, just time. What does that mean? Why do you need to wait for time? What does that mean? What's missing right now?
Pain,
Right.
motivation.
That's it.
Yeah.
See what I mean? So when you're digging and you're trying to find the pain and motivation and it's just not there and you're not able to get anywhere with the seller, then just know that they're just not motivated enough yet. Don't use it as an excuse for all your leads, but just know like, hey, if I've done everything I could to get the pain and motivation out of them and I'm just like not really getting there at all, and I don't feel like I'm missing something, then it's just time.
Yeah. Okay.
But cool. Good job, Karen. Good job. That property that you sent us the other day,
Mm-hmm.
locked up, ready to go. We're about to sell it. So
Let's go.
good. Literally, I can't. So I tell Karen, I think I told this story the other day, but I'll tell it again. I literally told Karen, like, hey, I need you to just go in the system, like, never mind all that new acquisition leads, but I need you to just go in our CRM, look at all of our leads, hunt and find a deal. That's what your job is. Your job is to put me on an appointment where I get a deal locked up. And I told her she has until the end of August. She literally did it in like 3 days. Badass. But proud of you, Karen. For everybody that's watching, silverhomies.com. We just saw a couple leads come in today. Like, we're locking babies up. We're locking these contracts up, making money, man. If you guys want us to follow up with your leads, dispo the leads, TC the leads, like all the things, go to silverhomies.com and you'll see a web form where you're able to submit the lead information. That those leads actually go directly to our CRM. And now that we have the team pretty much almost fully operating in the CRM, the next things that we need to do with the CRM is get all the JV partners on board. So essentially what the JV partners will have is they'll have access to our CRM. Like they'll have a login to our CRM and see all of their leads being followed up with, hear the conversations, all that. So if you are a JV partner sending us leads, make sure you send me at the Mike Gomes on Instagram, send me a direct message so that I can get you in contact with Andrew, my integrator, so that you guys are able to see all the leads that you're submitting. Cool. Benny says, yo, Mike, I found an owner finance listing on Zillow. Seems like a deal. Is the next steps to contact the agent? So if it sounds like it's on the market, if it's on Zillow, you aren't going to be able to get around the agent. So yes, you're going to have to talk directly to the agent. But I would talk to the agent and I would just have the conversation with them and see what's going on with it. I actually just locked up a fix and flip that we're buying in Brockton through an agent. It was an on-market deal. I saw it come up in my emails and I'm like, this looks like it could be a good deal. What is going on here? So I contacted the agent directly and I just said, hey, I'm unrepresented. I don't have an agent representing me, but I see that you have a listing here. I was wondering if you could write up an offer for me for this and represent me and the seller. And she's like, yeah, for sure. Great. We locked it up. We're about to fix and flip that deal. We got a really good deal on it too. Because the agent is representing me and the seller. And she was a little bit more pushed to put our offer in. So, yeah, man, I would contact the real estate agent, have the conversation with her, see exactly what's going on. Because there's a lot of listings that actually people don't really even know this, but there's a lot of listings on the MLS where it'll say in the description, owner is willing to seller finance, or owner is willing to carry paper back, or owner is willing to do owner finance, right? And if that's the case, you can have the conversation with the agent and see exactly what that looks like. Get on the agent side, right? You don't want to get in conversation with an agent and essentially just like, you don't want to have to, don't go to the agent and say this, hey, how do we get you off of this deal? Can I get you a referral fee or something like that? That's not going to get you the deal. What's going to get you the deal is getting the agent on your side, like I did with this Brockton fix and flip. Like, hey, I want you on my team. We might even need a realtor to list this. I don't know. You see what I'm saying? Get that agent on your side so that she goes to bat for you. Because a lot of people will call up an agent and say, hey, I have this, I see this listing here. You know, I was wondering if we could just do something and get you a referral fee. Immediately things go off in her head and say, hey, yeah, screw that. I want my commission, right? Yeah, for sure. Just get on the agent side. Call the agent and just say, hey, I'm unrepresented. I saw that you have this listing here. The seller's potentially, it said in the listing that the seller's potentially willing to do some seller financing. It's actually my main model. It's actually what I do. It's how I buy all my houses. Like I said, I'm unrepresented. I would love to see if we can work a deal out here together and see what she says. And then I would be asking, like, hey, what do you think that is going to get the seller excited? Right? Like, what's going to here's a great way to mention it. What do you think is going to get the seller excited so that we can do a deal and get you your commission? Like, what type of deal structure do you think is going to get your seller excited so that we can get you your commission? Now you're in her world. You're on her team. So that's what I would do, bro. I'm super curious to how it goes too. So shoot me a DM on Instagram once you do that. But anyways, like I was saying, with silverhomies.com, all the JV partners, shoot me a DM on Instagram so that I can get you in contact with Andrew, my integrator, so that you guys can see every single thing on our CRM. You guys will hear the conversations, see the follow-up, see how we're following up, all the things. So super important that you guys do that. We'll probably be able to get to you by the end of the week this week or beginning of next week. But I'm excited for that. Love it. Karen, do you have anything else you want to add?
That's it for now.
Yes, sir. All right, people. If you are not already subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. This is a ton of value that people get. Like, I wish, I'm not even like trying to gas it up, but I wish I could see somebody like talk to their virtual assistants and talk to their sales team and all this and actually see deals get done when I was getting started. Dude, I'll call the agent for sure. Benny, why don't we call the agent tomorrow on live? Shoot me a DM on Instagram, Benny. We'll figure this out. But all right, people. Good stuff. Peace.